fun time. Excuse my appearance, you know, I haven't really been able to get myself together, but we are getting the house fumigated. So that means all my plants have to be out of the house. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move them out into the greenhouse and the shed. And tomorrow the house will get fumigated, which is a Tuesday. Then Thursday we can come back. The weather here has been sort of cold, like in the 60s. And at night it's around 40s. The shed is insulated, but I mean, it's probably like 50 degrees in there at night. There's no heater. And the greenhouse, I don't have a heater there either, but there are plants in there and they're still surviving. So I'm counting on that. But I'm not counting on taking down my Monstera dubia right there. I have to take him off of the wall. He's already growing up the wall, so that kind of is unfortunate. And part of my Cebu blue, let me see if I can turn it, the one that's up there, part of that is also climbing up the wall in the back, so I have to sort of take the roots, pry the roots off of that as well. So this is going to be maybe like a 2-part video, because when we come back I will do a cleaning of the sunroom. I usually do that once a year, so this gives me the opportunity to do that. I hope my plants survive, especially my cuttings that I'm propping right now in this table. There's a lot of Hoya cuttings there that are in water, so I hope they do okay for those 3 days. And then I don't even know how many plants I have altogether. So maybe I'll count, but not counting my cuttings right here. So I'll count all the ones that I have. There are 2 other plants, one in the living room and one in my bathroom that's not in the sunroom, because this is the room that I keep all my plants. Oh, and there's also one in the office, so there's 3 that's not in this room. So let's get to it. So I have to move all my plants, and I'm doing that right now, but it started to rain again, and I'm gonna have to take this down. It's already about 5'7" feet high, and then the Cebu here, it's climbing up the wall as well, so I'm gonna have to take that down. And then I'm gonna have to take this down because it's all intertwined in there. Okay, now I have to untangle this because the Dioscorea has wrapped around the shelf and the Cebu blue. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so here it is all chopped up. Most of it, so I have 2 plants. Most of it comes from that one. That one had the biggest chop, and it's all tangled up in this plant. I'm kind of sad, but here you go. Look at all those lush leaves. Paper thin. Thinner than paper. Okay, so now I have to take down the vines and pry these roots off the wall. These are actually pretty easy to take off. They're just leaving marks on my wall, but that's fine. I'm gonna put them back in the same spot. And hopefully they start climbing up the wall again. Do you see how it grew these little roots in between the nodes to attach to the wall? That's pretty cool. So I actually did not meant for this plant to climb up the wall. It just started doing it on its own, and I'm not mad about that. What I would like it to do is crawl up all over the ceiling so it's draping down. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so there's a difference. Let me try to get this to show. Okay, so there's a difference between a leaf that is climbing or a vine that's climbing and one that trails. You can see a big size difference. Let me try to, okay, right there. The one on the top trails down, and this vine on the bottom, it climbs. And you know, this is a new leaf. As you can tell, it's still shiny, so you know, it could get just a little bit more bigger. So that's one of the advantages of it climbing. Requires 2 people to move. There it is, and there's one of my other 4 pots of sabu, but there's the big one. Looks, it's gonna be a mess getting it back and untangling. All right, so I've been waiting the last minute to do this because I hate that. How tall is this? Is this taller than me?
Yes.
Like 5'7", huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Man, it hurts. This hurts more than prying off the sabu. It kind of seems harder. Let me get my scraper. It's a mess in here, you guys. So I'm gonna do a little experiment. I taped up this terrarium like with 6 layers of tape, and let's see if it survives the fumigation. Hey you guys, so we're back. It's Thursday now and we just got back, got the kitchen and food put away and everything. So now I'm gonna do a deep clean of the sunroom and bring my plants back in. So let's do a little time lapse of that. As you can see, I changed the hanging plants there. I think it looks better with the 3, and then the shelf I changed. I did rearrange some plants and the fixtures. And most of my propagations are now there. And eventually we're gonna be putting this table out on the deck after we weatherproof it. So yeah, terrarium that did survive. And I no longer have my Dioscorea here. If you guys see my Instagram, it was always here, wrapped around here, and I had to cut the Dioscorea, these two, because they were intertwined with the Cebu. And then this Monstera dubia was on that wall. You can see the trace of it as it climbed. So I moved it here to get more sun, and what I did was I taped it up to train it again. So hopefully that helps, but you kind of have to make sure you look at it every day to see that the tape is sticking, because originally the sunroom was their back patio, but they changed it to a room. So that's why this is actually siding, but it's good for their aerial roots because there's a lot of texture for them to grab onto. There you go. This one was a root that I actually submerged in water, but then when I put it out on the shed, I forgot to put the water cup back, so it dried up, but that's okay. This is another root that's coming off of the same spot, so that's fine. But the plants did all right. Same with the propagations. Sometimes I think I have too many plants and moving them out, it definitely, was a hard task to do. It was a lot of plants to move in and out of that shed back there and my greenhouse back over there. It was a lot. So I'm thinking of downsizing. I just know which one. I just don't know which one to let go yet. It's hard to let go. But that is all. So yeah. Well, thank you for watching this video. Termites, they're a bad thing, and if you have to get your house fumigated, you have to wrap all your food, all your medicines, everything in the refrigerator has to be wrapped, and then living things, your pets, your plants have to be out of the house. So if you ever have to get your house fumigated, that's what you should expect. And if you have a lot of plants, I think I counted, it was about 150, and so that's not a lot considering I've been collecting plants for a while now, but even then, that to me is a lot, especially if you have to move it, and it's not even counting all my propagations. So counting those, it's a lot. But yeah, I'm glad to be back home, and I'm glad I got to clean the sunroom, and I'm really glad that my plants are okay. Well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.